Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech Heavy Metal. I did it again. I'm still not 100% better, but I feel better enough that it's time to blow some robots up. So, you might notice some things have transpired since last episode. I mopped up all the remaining jobs on the planet we were on, and then I was offered a travel contract to another One Skull world, and I went there and wrapped up all the boring jobs there, and then I was offered another travel contract here to Joppa. And I figured, well, this makes sense. Joppa's on the path to our flashpoint, right? And it's a black market system, and at this point, to another whole planet of missions we actually have quite a lot of money. So, it's possible that we're going to be able to buy some really cool stuff here. Oh, and before we get into it, I did, in fact, buy the two parts of that Warhammer. So hopefully we'll be able to finish this thing off. Never gotten to use one before, but 70 tons is a very pleasing size. There's a lot of stuff you can do with a 70-ton mech, like punch smaller mechs clean in half. So I figured that'll be fun, some fun in our future. So here at this system, first of all, there's a remarkable number of interesting mech parts just in the general store. The Marauder is a thing I've never seen before. We've never had a Marauder before. There's some improved lasers. I do love a plus damage large laser. It's like the damage output of a PPC on considerably less heat. You are trading out the stability damage, obviously, but there's a lot to be said for the large laser. I think it's a very, very powerful weapon in general. Plus 1 accuracy with energy weapons. Remember that's just a flat 5% to hit bonus with all energy weapons. And then in the black market itself, there's an entire Banshee 3S for a mere 13.5 million C-bills. Look at this thing. Look at the... Boy, that's an awful lot of weapons. That's just a huge number of guns. We could buy ourselves a whole Griffin, a whole Highlander 733. This is a pretty solid mech. It's like reasonably jump capable for an assault mech. It comes with 3 jump jets stock. I don't always leave those on it because assault jump jets are actually very heavy, and if you pull them, you can replace them with an awful lot of additional firepower. There's a King Crab here, which sounds like fun. Actually, I didn't notice this. There are 6 pieces of the King Crab. So we could assemble a King Crab for, what, 6.5 million? We're at 4.2? That's not impossible. It's not super likely, but it's not impossible that we could get there. Similarly, there are 6 parts of a Stalker 3F, and they're a lot cheaper, too. That's really interesting. So the Stalker has 6 laser hardpoints and 4 missile hardpoints. It's very, very, very good at dealing damage. AC 20, plus 20 damage, plus 20 stability damage. That's pretty neat. LRM 5 plus is not... That's a little bit less neat. A medium pulse laser. So 50 damage, 16 heat, plus 1 accuracy. Honestly, for a 2-ton weapon, this is pretty good. 50 damage is that's better than a large laser at considerably lower... Yeah, wow, I guess it's 2 million C-bills. The game knows how good of a weapon this is. It's nice to see that they changed the pulse lasers and made them a little bit more interesting, because they were kind of bad before. Plus damage PPC, small laser with plus 10 damage and plus crit chance. Ooh, a plus 4 resolve gain comm system. So what this does is it makes us gain 4 extra resolve at the beginning of the turn. During, at the time when we would normally gain our 25. That ends up being like a lot of extra resolve over the course of a battle. Plus 3 melee hit gyro is less impressive. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff for sale here. Plus 4 damage SRM4s are very, very good. Okay, it would be super neat if we walked out of here with an assault mech, don't you think? Oh, wait, I think there's one more thing I picked up. If we check our components list. There's one more, yeah, this. No, not this. We've had this for a while. I would like to find a place for our LB20X. There's one more thing I picked up in a store. I found a UAC-20. It is a 2-shot 100 damage autocannon. It is, sadly, 15 tons, and it creates 48 heat when you fire it. But it also does 80 stability damage by itself. Like, as soon as we have a mech that's big enough to actually be able to carry one of these, I'm very excited to press this into service. That is sadly a thing the Stalker would not be able to do for us, because it does not have any ballistic hardpoints at all. So, if we have a look at the missions on this world, sadly, most of them don't really pay all that well. But we could get like 1.5 million here. Well, probably a little bit less, because we're going to want to take some priority salvage. Now, you know what? With these being this easy, probably we don't even care about taking priority salvage. Yeah, actually, the missions on this world will will probably just be about money. And you can see we're doing very, very well on monthly expenses. It's nice to have a cushion. I'm sure I'm going to spend it all immediately, but it's nice to have a cushion. So let's get in here and start making some money. We're getting a number of reports from agents on the ground of a powerful mech sporting pirate colors. A single mech operating on its own out in the middle of nowhere sounds like a trap. Our plan is to spring the trap and see who comes to investigate. Engage the mech, intercept the forces, and destroy all of them. Oh, see, they're talking about a powerful mech, though. That does make me want to take some priority salvage. Maybe just one piece? What if it's a Warhammer? Alright, we'll take one. We'll take one piece. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm on contract right this second. I should probably do the contract job. You can see why I took this contract job. It's $1 million pay for a skull and a half. We're trying to build a local defense force of mech warriors here on Joppa. Our pilots are inexperienced and untested, etc. Get in there and lead some dudes around by the nose. I can only imagine what kind of junk heaps these locals are going to be piloting. I'm expecting Urbies. Bring something big. Well, we have some things that are big. So I did finish putting together that Phoenix Hawk. It is fine. It's totally okay. This vectored thrust kit that it runs gives it additional jump distance and also bonus damage after jumping. It's a neat gimmick, but first of all, it's definitely not the biggest and most badass mech that we have available, and secondly, it's not going to work very well in this lunar environment and jumping around and firing all these lasers all the time. So we probably want to bring one of the Centurions, right? As much as I love the Griffin, I don't think this is the right environment for it. Why don't we... They're Commando, Urban Mech. We should bring something that does long-range support well. I'm inclined to bring the UAC Centurion. I think that makes sense. And who will we put in it? You know what? I'm going to put Tirefire in it, because she's very, very close to that 9 tactics threshold. I would love to see her get up there. It's going to be so much easier to bring home the pieces of mechs that we want to bring home once we have somebody with high gunnery and 9 tactics. Now she'll just be able to knock people's heads clean off. No matter how accurate you are, no matter how many levels of called shot, bonus, and mastery you have, you are never likely to hit someone in the head. However, I believe with called shot mastery and a precision strike to the head, you get up to 18% chance to hit the head, which is pretty good. Like if you're firing 3 or 4 weapons, there's reasonable odds that you will get a headshot, and you only have to do that a couple of times in order for it to work. Now, because of the settings we're playing on, even if we do manage to decapitate an enemy mech, it's not like we get to take the whole thing home, because it'll only create 3 pieces of salvage, but that should dramatically accelerate our rate of acquisition of cool stuff. I love the smell of coolant in the morning. Are people still... Alright. Yeah, coolant's toxic. If you can smell the coolant, you're probably going to die. Wait, what does it smell like? Because there is a weird smell in here. Focus, people. Commander, we're seeing engine signatures from a single lance in the AO. Go blow them up. Got it. Why is your name Burger Time? Hey, it smells kind of like onions. Does coolant smell like onions? I'll be on station, Commander. Meet me here when you're ready to leave.
Like in the brochure.
I do appreciate the... I think that the writing in this game can be kind of uneven, and that it's often the case that conversations and interactions are like 2 or 3 lines longer than they need to be. But I really do appreciate the characterization in these escort the rookie pilot missions. These are a lot of fun. So we got 2 Urbies with their AC-10s. That is also an urban mech, right? Yep, it sure is. It's got a very distinctive profile. Well, I guess let's try to maintain the high ground with the Centurion. I guess maybe this is a bad idea because that hill over there is going to be a problem. Whatever. We'll start here. All friendly mechs must survive. All of them. Very important.
Thy will be done.
Well, I think we probably want to lead with the urban mechs. Can we jump you and get... Best I can do is 2 points of evasion. That's pretty unfortunate. Well, I guess let's do it, because we are not going to have significant heat problems with this crew.
Attack failed.
I hit him right in the wonky hitbox. Alright, let's try the other urban mech next. Here's hoping. A little leery of taking these shots because I don't want to accidentally shoot my commando in the back when this misses. You know, or maybe it just doesn't miss. Boy, center torso. That's pretty rough. So he has 17 center health left. It's not inconceivable that we could core him right now with this commando. I'm going to just run right up on him, I guess. Maybe... I mean, we want to move as much as possible. We want all the evasion. And I also want that clear shot. It's maybe the case that I don't want to run up to here and make myself visible to even more enemies. Let's try it like this. We're still firing from the front arcs. This has a chance. The medium laser or 3 of our 10 missiles need to go center. Did not get there on the laser. Only 1 missile hit center. That's a real shame.
What can I do for you?
But we're definitely going to multi-target. We should fire something at the Locust. I think I'm inclined to... Hold on, let's not fire the UAC. We'll just try to get lucky with the 50 damage large laser, and I'll throw all of the LRMs at the urban mech in the hopes of putting it down. Okay, well, I didn't put it down, but I did destroy the AC-10, so it may as well be dead. In theory, it could melee us, but it's an urban mech. How's it going to get over here?
Ready for orders.
Hard to know exactly what they're going to do. I think I'm actually going to reserve down.
Reserving action.
I don't want to shoot at this Locust a couple of times and have it, you know, lose a couple of evasion pips and then take a turn and get all of its evasion back. Let's just save it until we can really focus on the thing. Ow. Alright, well, it's not so bad. Should probably focus on the other urban mech first. Especially since it has, you know, functionally no evasion. Lose vision of the close one here.
On it.
Alright, a leg hit is something. We could parlay that into something.
Engage jump jet. Copy that, Commander. Critical hit, Commander.
Alright, well that is also a problem solved. At this point I think we can, in fact, just turn around and deal with the Locust. So I'm gonna move behind it and shoot it in the backside.
Got it, Commander.
I think we can precision strike this.
Affirmative.
Okay, well you managed to hit every part of him equally, which is maybe the worst possible way to shoot an enemy mech.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
I'm gonna go ahead and fire everything else, I think. Well, do we need the large laser? He has 3 center torso health. We probably don't need the large laser. Let's conserve him.
Damn, we're gonna do this right.
Alright, so between a lot of them, they have a small laser and a damaged small laser. Feeling like we probably have it, although I'd be very surprised if it turned out that this was the entire enemy group. I bet we're going to see some reinforcements.
Reporting. Critical hit.
You know, we're on an open comms channel. If you guys want to give up,
I'm receiving you.
I'm just saying nobody would blame you. This is this is going terribly for you.
All left for go.
Honestly, the commando here is a pretty solid mech in these conditions. I guess I stray shot him and I stray shot him and accidentally destroyed his leg. That's really unfortunate for him.
Roger.
Well, don't think it makes much sense to do anything other than just go center.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Our shot is really screwed up.
Roger that. Firing on target.
I do believe we've got it.
All primary targets have been destroyed.
Yep, there it is. Blip coming in low and fast. No big surprise. Excuse me. Alright, we can evac at any time, but also, what if we shot everybody? What if we shot everybody to death?
Confirmed.
Maybe I shouldn't be running their mechs forward quite so fast? I don't
On my
know.
way.
Try to get up to the top of this hill over here, so that we can provide a little bit of cover. We dropped another mech. That target is optional. If you don't feel the trainees are up to it, head for the evac. And what have we? A Centurion. That is not a big mech.
I'm ready.
I'm driving a Centurion. So, with the stock loadout, where's that large laser? Is it in the right arm? I mean, we have a pretty good attack on his right arm. I think I'm going to precision strike him. He is fully armored, which definitely complicates things. Storing his LRM ammo in the far side, which is a real shame. The other thing is we could try to go for the leg. Ah, that leg is really heavily armored. Never mind.
Firing full salvo.
Let's try to push through the torso here. Fortunately, we're not going to be able to get clean side shots out of everybody. Actually, maybe never mind.
Confirmed.
Maybe clean side shots are exactly what's going to happen for everybody.
I'm receiving you.
Maybe for some reason you won't be able to hit him at all.
Here we go.
We do get extra money
Confirmed.
for destroying him, as if we needed more of an excuse.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, tire fire. Yes, we do just barely have a real shot. Okay, let's give him everything. I'm going to go ahead and precision strike to that torso. I would love to not deal any unnecessary damage to the arm, given that it is just going to come flying off anyway.
Yeah, critical hit.
Alright, so this is going pretty poorly for him.
Someone let me borrow their pom-poms and skirt, because I'm damn excited now.
What?
Affirmative.
Hey, how did you know about my pom-poms and skirt? Who told you? I mean, probably what we do here is we try to just tunnel through the armor on the other torso side and trigger an ammo explosion, because we could disarm him real fast here.
Receiving you.
It's like it's maybe not going to work. Actually, do I want to jump in close enough for the small laser? Why not, right? What's he going to do? Come over here and punch me? Also, his leg is pretty busted. We can't get anything other than frontal arc shots with this guy. Well, I guess I'll take it. I don't have to like it. Alright, we got the leg anyway.
Scored a critical hit.
This pilot is now on 2 damage. With the mission being as low difficulty as it is, it's not entirely impossible that he has 3 health. Which is to say, if I go for the other torso section, we might get some value. But it is also the case that you can just go for the leg, right? Torso is considerably weaker, though. And we're not getting multiple pieces of priority salvage here anyway, because obviously I wanted the money.
And there's more where that came from.
So I suppose we may as well just blow him up in whatever way makes him blow up the fastest. Oh, here comes that punch I was talking about. Okay. That's the entire left side of that mech, just uppercutted clean off.
Commander, hit.
Yep, Stubble, you're gonna be okay. My advice would be stop talking. You are not going to make things any better by continuing to jostle your internal organs. Really terrible shooting. Just atrocious. Alright, so you need to be firing aimed shot no matter what, because we have to get initiative down here. It's a little bit of a shame. But I mean, at this point, we're just going center, right? It's only 50 health left. That could have been it right there. It wasn't, because my mechs don't have the gumption to finish the job. Hold on, not my mechs. Let's not blame my pilots for the things that are happening here. I turn all this off. Can I turn the large laser on? We probably want to just give him the UAC, right? Alright, either one of the projectiles will do it.
Gotcha.
And everybody is technically still alive. And one guy he's gonna have a rough 6 months or so, but he is technically still alive, and that's all I was paid for. Look at all that money. We got, oh good, a piece of an urban mech. Well, I don't feel too bad knowing that the mission's definition of a big scary mech is just a thing we already have 2 of. A thing we have literally had 2 of since the start of the game. Alright, let's have a look at... That's got us real close, actually, to Stalker money. If it comes right down to it, if we had the money for either one, I'm not sure which one I would want more. It's like the King Crab. First of all, the King Crab is a very cool-looking mech. I love its visual design. You can probably take a guess at what it looks like based on the name. It has some great big autocannon slots. It has a ton of available storage. It is 15 tons heavier than the Stalker, and almost all of that is just room to mount weapons. You can do pretty much anything with it. But it's big and slow and kind of dumb, and so it has problems like... It's very tempting to just mount 2 AC-20s on the thing, because it can support them. But you sometimes have trouble getting it into AC-20 range. You could outfit it really with whatever you want, though. Stalker is a very versatile thing, but a little bit less versatile than a King Crab. No, I think it's really not much of a contest. It's the King Crab. That's what I want. If we could put together... Jeez. It's a huge amount of money. 7 million C-bills, just about. Because it's closer to 1.4. We probably can't get there, except, no, looking at these numbers, we probably can. I'm very torn. Okay, let's do this thing. Powerful mech sporting pirate colors. Do we want to keep a point of priority salvage knowing that we might be able to put together a King Crab? We do have a finance report in 2 days, so we have to be able to buy the thing and also still make pay. And if we are in a situation where we don't think we're going to be able to buy the crab, we really should take a piece of priority salvage here, because we could get something for a lot less than we would pay for it in a store, right? It's 170k that we're losing to take the 1 point of priority salvage. But then again, this might be like, oh, it's a dangerous, heavily armed mech, and then we get down there and we find out it's like a griffin or something. I'm taking the money. Maybe this is foolish, but I'm living the hopeful life. So let's put the Centurions over here. Do we want to? What do we want to bring? We can finally run a whole lance of no lights, which is cool. Definitely a step up. The Griffin, I mean, on turns where the Griffin doesn't fire the PPC, it's actually relatively heat efficient. Maybe I do just bring it. And then also the Phoenix Hawk. The Phoenix Hawk could really use some heat sinks. We could just bring the Firestarter. It's not so bad to have a light, and a Firestarter can be a real problem for people in a lunar environment. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So, let's put returned in the Griffin, because that heat vent is going to be even more important than usual. I built Cruise up to have vent coolant and also multi-shot. Might make her good for the UAC Centurion, actually. I know traditionally Tirefire has been the one to fly it because we want all that accuracy. But there's a lot to be said for coolant vent, and then the Firestarter just needs somebody who can drive a light. We're probably not going to get a lot of benefit out of Bulwark, but still, I think I like you better as a pilot. Or 552 as opposed to 3633. Frankly, the 1 point of gunnery might might be enough to make that decision for me. So, if we actually do get something like big and impressive here, it's still theoretically possible that we could get a piece of it, you know? We could just roll it through blind luck. But in order to maximize the chances of that, we are going to want to try to preserve as many pieces of it as possible. So it might be a little bit more important here than it has been in the past to at least try to leave more than one piece of salvage behind. We're getting to the point of the game where that is going to become a more common thing. Let's see what sort of trap this is, he says.
Is this?
Alright, so there's a radiation field over here, which scrambles sensors, like standing in the radiation field makes you hard to hit, but it also generates heat, and it maybe does other stuff? Plus 10 heat for 2 activations to units passing through a radiation field. I mean, it doesn't have to be worse than that. That's already very annoying.
Moving to position. Moving out. Don't need to tell me twice.
A little worried about all this. Wait, my plan was to just go up the hill here and get the high ground, but now that I see how much city we're talking about, I'm a little concerned about turrets.
Heads up, Commander. You've got hostile contacts inbound.
Saw what it was briefly, but I didn't get a good read. It is a cicada. That's a terrible mech. Cicada's like a very, very slightly smaller locust, or a very slightly larger locust. I wonder if this is the big mech flying pirate colors that they were talking about. It's technically a medium, so
What? No.
I guess it's kind of big. It's bigger than some other stuff, that's for sure. I'm not going to attack him while he's sitting there all guarded and bulwarked up.
Sure. Just forget about me.
Let's let him wander over into us, and then we'll deal with him. Also, apparently we're going to have to sit through an awful lot of LRM volleys. That feels like not a very effective way to do that to me. But I suppose he's keeping his heat down, right? No, not really. Alright, well, a bizarre group of decisions from you. Goodbye. God, that snub PPC is really something. Yeah, I extremely do not care about pieces of a cicada. We'll just burn that down however we can.
Unknown on sensors.
Oh, here we go. They're over here.
Huzzah!
Hiding on the other side of Radiation Mountain.
What? No.
I don't think we're going to be able to meaningfully interact with anybody this turn. Just build ourselves up a nice amount of evasion. Alright, so a Locust 1M, which is the LRM one. I assume that is also a Locust 1M. You know, a 1M, is it 2 LRM 5 bays, or is it 2 machine guns and 1 LRM 5 bay? Okay, well, that's the one with the lasers. The laser singular. Well, it seems like they're probably all Locusts, based on the amount of movement we saw there and everything, so not exactly terrifying. Well, you'd be a pain in the ass to knock out, though. The defensive properties of a small mech really don't matter so much once you get close enough to punch him. So that's got to be, to some degree, that's got to be our goal. Oh, they do have something else going on. An LRM-10, maybe? Very impressive. But incredible technology.
Full throttle. Waiting on you, Commander.
Definitely needs a turn to cool, and then could shoot at this guy. Feels like it'd be kind of a waste. Honestly, the same might be true for that dude as well. 50%. I mean, his armor's torn up enough. Yeah, I guess I'll take the shot. It's not very good, though. Also, it generates no heat, so it's totally free as long as I'm not concerned that I'm going to run out of ammo at some point here. Oh, you might have stepped close enough to be punched. You might have made the one fatal error.
Here.
I mean, this Firestarter's not going to be able to do any meaningful overheating on any of these enemies. Scouting information is probably pretty valuable. So that is a Griffin, and not a very well-built Griffin. I mean, I certainly don't want to let my Firestarter get shot by a PPC too many times. But on the whole, I don't think that's a terribly scary enemy.
Waiting for orders.
You can't quite reach him. You totally can, and should. There you go, that's what you're looking for. Just put your whole fist all the way through to the other side. That's it. That's all you got. I hate to say, like, I don't know why you would want to have a mech as heavy as a Griffin and just mount a PPC and an LRM, like, not even an LRM-20. How's that mech supposed to, like, kill people? Do we want... I think I kind of want the Griffin going this way instead. Not quite revealing himself over the hilltop yet, but just getting ready. Getting ready to have a dramatic entrance. Yes, that guy has fewer evasion pips, so we attack him. Honestly, Tire Fire is accurate enough. This actually works, right? Not a lot of other people on our team yet who can tell you they're going to shoot you a specific way and then actually follow through on it. I guess they have identified the Firestarter as the most killable of our mechs. At least they hope. The Griffin actually might have heat problems if we push it. Then again, it also might punch me so hard I explode. Guess there's that to consider. PPC's on the wrong side, like we couldn't really interfere with it. Not that I necessarily need to. It is a PPC. I'm on this rock. He might not be able to punch me. Game's real weird about small elevation changes like this. I'm gonna go for it. Precision strike for that arm. Ooh, no, we're going for the torso section because there's ammo in there. We might be able to get a touch off. Or we might completely fail to break through the armor. That could also happen. It's a shame. I can't quite get the small laser in there. Still, the hit chances with the high bonus are so good, I don't know that we can pass this up. I think we kind of have to do this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Precision Strike again. It's going to take us out of Inspired, but I think it's worth it. So he has 97 center torso health. There's no reason to think we can't get him. Okay, we didn't, but I could have, is the point. We totally could have gotten him. Another way of saying I did everything in my power. Something has gone wrong here. It's your fault, video game.
Coordinates received. You get a headshot, and you get a headshot.
It's possible that it would have been better off to just let the AC-5 rest this turn, rather than firing it again. But you know what? It worked out. And that is the same thing as it having been right the whole time.
I hear ya.
Okay, so we have a pretty easy kill on this dude whenever we want it. Obviously, that's not the thing I want most. Looks like I am not going to have a way of firing straight on the big enemy.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
So here, we'll just give him the UAC. Do I want to fire everything? Feels like overkill. But stuff could... Yeah, I'm just going to go in with everything.
I've got enough guns for everyone.
Things could miss. You know, if you try to always fire just enough damage to get the job done, you're going to find yourself being unpleasantly surprised an awful lot. Okay, really strange move.
What? No.
Very, very odd. Alright, so his right side is gone. He just has no weapons left. In fact, I think the most effective thing for me to do might be to just turn slightly and fire on him.
Okay.
Even a flamethrower hit to the center torso is a kill here. It's not very often that you see that. Alright, that was remarkably easy for the amount of money we got paid for it. I guess maybe the market has spoken. Nobody wants to go to that moon to shoot people. So we get a nice premium because we have no self-respect. 3 pieces of the same locust. Cool. I'm sure the 1M is one we already have finished too. You know, actually, that's an interesting idea. If we get close to King Crab money but we can't quite make it, we do have the option of selling off some of the mechs in storage. We were keeping them, of course, because of how they affect score. But we could always just trust that we will get more mechs to fill those scoring slots. That might be worth it. Let's see how the money actually shakes out at the end here. So we have a skull and a half, and then I might end up doing some more missions off camera. I'm not trying to, like, cut you guys out of the BattleTech action, but a lot of these one skulls are just not very interesting. As part of a propaganda effort, we've been operating a secret holovid broadcasting facility on Joppa. The clearest sign that our efforts are working is that local government agents have spent months searching for the facility. Unfortunately, they've succeeded, and are launching an assault on what they believe to be an undefended installation. While our personnel prepare for evacuation and destroy all the files and documents, we need a team of mercenaries to hold off local government forces. You know, with these little stories, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on temporally. It's pretty weird that they know the police found out about their thing, and they know that they're on the way to destroy it, And they're like, it's urgent. Somebody's gotta protect us while we just destroy these files real quick and then bug out. But they contacted a mech company. It's not like, they didn't... This is not ordering a pizza. We have to, get around the planet to the correct point, and there's gotta be some negotiation, and then the drop happens, and I'm just saying, by the time we even show up, they should definitely have had enough time to destroy all the files and prepare for evacuation. For them to wait for us seems very odd. Even though the planetary government supposedly believes the facility is undefended, I'm still expecting a stand-up fight, Commander. I don't know, man. Have you seen the difficulty rating? The difficulty rating that presumably you put on the mission?
Command interface initiated.
Alright, we're tasked with defending a propaganda facility. Scattered reports of possible hostiles. Looks like the planetary government mean to shut down this operation. Don't let them destroy the buildings.
I'm dead. Don't bury me here.
Okay. Listen, nobody gets buried. Nobody gets buried in the Legion. We all just keep piloting mechs and shouting at each other in the corridors of the spaceship forever. UAC up here. Oops, I destroyed a building. You know what? It wasn't malice. It was just carelessness. I'm not sure if that makes it better, but it was intended to make it better anyway. What is that a javelin? And then we have something over here at 25 tons, so not very impressive.
What now?
I think I'm gonna just reserve down. Oh no, I don't want to reserve down. I was gonna say, it's actually gonna be really hard for them to deal any damage to us with all this evasion. But right, they just won't deal damage to us. They'll go after the buildings. I guess going after the Locust is pretty low risk, and we get to use our support weapons, so we have a pretty good odds of making actual contact. I think we probably don't want to use the flamethrowers on him.
Just die.
Okay, I shot the mech in the face. The pilot is merely injured. Shooting bullets the size of Buicks over here. Alright, the commando is... Oh, I think it's in firing range. It just chose not to fire, which I really appreciate. Also appreciate that it just ran right up next to us, because, I gotta punch that, right? I can't just not punch this. If I stand here, I'm likely to get shot in the back, but it's just a Locust. I think I'll do this to clear up some space here, just in case I don't actually finish this thing off. I want people to have the opening to shoot at it in its face.
Waiting on you, Commander.
So you're also a javelin. I'm concerned that anything I don't shoot at will not take it seriously in terms of targeting here, so we probably want to... I only have 2 weapons that are capable of long-range combat. Okay, well... So I want to make sure these guys are fighting the correct fight. Yeah, I guess I'll take 40% of the LRM-20s. I really want the autocannon to hit.
Got it.
Yep, for reasons like that. This amount of damage is terrifying to small mechs that are not perfectly maintained. Same as every other amount.
Came from. Waiting for orders.
I kind of think I just do the same thing, right? This guy's almost down, so we should probably knock him down. Alright, maybe we give him all of the LRM-5s. Actually, he might be... Oh no, okay. He is not too close for them to target him correctly. And then it turns out this is target C or nothing. It could be nothing. That may be a good way to preserve some heat. Nah, we'll just go ahead and shoot at C with it. It's fine. And then, do I even... How much has my mind changed about shooting that Locust in the distance? Maybe I just want to ignore it. I think I'm going to ignore it.
You get a headshot, and you get a headshot.
Okay, a couple of real solid hits there. That's 10 center torso off. Alright. As is always the case, I'm sure this is not the only lance.
Let's do it.
Gonna have a lot more problems after we clear these dudes out. Okay, that's not great for me. It's a fair amount of damage to my center torso.
Here.
The fire starter is in a pretty awkward position here. Can get in with the machine guns, though.
Jump jet.
Hard to imagine not wanting to do that. In fact, hard to imagine wanting to attack with anything else. Why don't we all just only shoot machine guns?
That hurt.
Oh,
I'm bleeding, Commander.
that's frustrating. Ah, well. It happens. It's always going to happen. There's nothing you can do that makes that not happen. But it is a little disappointing every time.
Engaging physical attack.
There was very little chance of that failing. Like, if the hit connected,
Enemy
the thing has so little armor and structure in all of its body parts that regardless of where the punch landed, I think it probably would have been lethal.
Moving to position.
See if we can get that other pesky arm.
That's a kill.
Heads up,
Alright,
Commander.
let's see those reinforcements.
Hostile contacts inbound.
Ooh, that's an awkward place for them to be. I mean, I guess I'm glad we have these nice long-range Centurions. Boy, they're allowed to just run right all the way up here, huh?
Hey.
Well, I don't think there's much point in moving the fire starter right now.
On the
We
comp
definitely
here,
won't be able to
until
do
I see an
anything.
opening.
They have their own fire starter. Hopefully they'll keep shooting at that building, because that thing is relatively beefy.
What now?
Get into medium laser range? No, I can't. Let's be honest, I'm not going to be able to fire the lasers after jumping.
Okay.
Just gonna have to do without. Okay, so this is looking like a real actual lance. 2 lights and 2 mediums. If you are also not firing this turn, why don't you just go ahead and take a jog? Have a Phoenix Hawk.
Commander? What can I do for
Start
you?
with the Centurion that's actually in a firing position. Turn around. Frankly, if they want to shoot at me instead of the buildings, I welcome that. So we are going to make no attempt to evade them. Alright, well, this had better work. I mean, as far as medium mechs go, Phoenix Hawk is, like, remarkably not tough. Little annoyed by how all those projectiles landed on the same side. What are you going to do?
Good to go.
Can I jump to a place where I have a direct line of sight? I cannot.
Right, Commander.
I suppose we'll just work in that direction then. And this fire starter doesn't have guarded. Yeah. That's fine. Honestly, I'm surprised to have unsteadied it in one hit.
I'm here.
Alright, so this Phoenix Hawk has a bunch of lasers. It's not going to handle heat shenanigans very well, I don't think.
Moving to position.
And we are definitely giving him all the flamethrowers and as many lasers as we can. Okay, we didn't actually push him over his heat threshold, but it won't dissipate. Won't dissipate completely for a long time. Does he even have heat sinks installed? He might be. That heat might be on for quite some time. That building gets attacked once more. We are losing our bonus objective, which obviously I do not want to do. Well, we can probably kill this fire starter, I guess.
All weapons eliminated.
Somehow the PPC managed to hit every part of him except the center. And we cut through the armor eventually anyway, but sure would have been helpful if it had done that. Okay, that's a blackjack.
Waiting for orders.
Which kind of blackjack is it? Is it the laser one or the ballistic one? Okay. Yeah, I'm worried about that. Phoenix Hawk, definitely still dangerous. Blackjack, also still dangerous. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this, but I don't feel confident that this is necessarily the right play. You got to do something about that blackjack.
I hear ya.
That's the wrong keyboard control keys. I get an unobstructed. There we go.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
Not actually sure if I'm going to shoot him or not, but I definitely want the option. You still have 50 center torso health, although you are down to 1 medium laser. I think at this point the blackjack becomes a more important target. Ooh, I probably shouldn't do a precision strike since I can't fire most of my weapons anyway. Boy. Oh, you know what? We have coolant vent. Let's vent some coolant. See if that lets me turn things back on. It still might... I was going to say, it still might not be everything.
Here we go.
Not even a single explosion. And then he runs over and punches the building in half. It's interesting that he didn't jump there.
Huzzah!
I wonder, actually, can you jump the turn you stand up from being knocked down? I'm not 100% sure if you can. That might have something to do with it. You know, if it was impossible for him to do the thing I'm saying he should have done, that might factor in. Part of me wants to go after this fire starter to prevent it from cutting down that building. But if I fire start him, he's going to fire start me. It's going to become a whole thing. You know how it is. Still, I think it needs to be done. We just got to deal a little bit of damage to this guy to let him know he is not safe, basically. Do I want to precision strike? If I'm going to fire everything, I kind of have to nail it, right? Because otherwise he's going to hit me. His legs really don't have a lot of hit points. Maybe we just want to go through the torso. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go through the torso. Because I don't know that we're going to necessarily kill him before he gets a turn. I thought it were reasonably possible that we would kill him. I might have gone for a little bit different targeting there. Yep, that's bad.
I'm melting in here.
Heat critical even before the other fire starter gets his turn.
Commander?
Well, we definitely need
Good to go.
a Centurion to come through on this. Alright, arms off. That helps a little bit. The fact that we got flamethrowered by the other fire starter, though, makes his turn a little bit less terrifying in the sense that, like, our mech is already all screwed up. It's not going to get too much more screwed up. Yeah, they're just going to shut it down.
I don't like mech shutting down.
We are going to have to do some structural repairs there. Sure do wish that I had better heat management. Do I think we can take down the blackjack? Because, like, obviously the fire starter is not our primary concern. But just getting enemy mechs off the table is so valuable. I don't really want to turn off the PPC. Yeah, that's why.
Enemy mech destroyed.
It really is like a fantastic weapon. Interesting move.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
Why do that instead of,
I
like,
hear
all
ya.
of the other stuff that is available to you at that moment? Ah, jeez. Yeah, the heat's a real problem.
Time to die. Another hit like that and you're toast.
It is unfortunately only most of his flamethrowers, not all of them. Oof, that is a healthy amount of damage. A Blackjack's a good mech. They start you with one in the campaign for a reason.
Right here.
Well, we may as well restart.
Here we go.
Actually, maybe that was wrong. Maybe I should have waited until the other Firestarter took his turn and then restarted. Oof. Okay,
Warning.
but that didn't
Exceeding recommended level.
actually shut him down. So he can just, like, throw a punch. Yeah, the Phoenix Hawk's closer to death. It's a little bit less dangerous, too, but...
Engaging physical attack.
You get bonus damage for punching while superheated.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Okay, that's not really what I was going for, but I'm happy it happened. Oh, jeez. Firestarter's in rough shape. Alright.
Waiting for orders.
We need to do something about all of this. And I know that Blackjack is a problem, but he can wait a little bit.
Roger that.
Okay, there we go. I was starting to get a little worried we're actually going to lose somebody. I mean, I guess we're not out of the woods yet on that.
Good to go.
Although the fact that I get to shoot directly into this guy's back armor certainly helps.
Got it.
Said I don't know that I'm going to have a lot to shoot. I can't even fire all my LRMs. I'm just going to brace for a turn. So we have to do
Standing by.
a precision strike with you because we... to lower the initiative.
Affirmative.
Heat sinks and lasers. Oh, in his center torso he's storing ammunition. Well, that's a bad idea. Let me show you why.
Affirmative.
I think those both went to the sides.
Critical hit, Commander.
Commander?
Everybody is so high on heat. It's actually... it's really difficult to find somebody who can fire all of their weapon systems. Alright, that should be it. That should be the proper end of that mission.
Enemy down.
It was a little harder than I thought. We're going to have to pay off some repairs, and unfortunately,
Mission successful.
Tire Fire, who is getting really close to being incredibly powerful, just keeps taking these injuries. To get injured, maybe on the first mission on the last planet we did, and she recovered by the time we got here, but still it was bad. That's a lot of money. We are totally going to have the money for that King Crab, if we want to do it. The most generic loot anyone has ever seen. Yeah, I don't know. There are obvious upsides to bringing a King Crab. It is incredibly heavily armored. It's incredibly heavily armed. It looks really neat. That's got to factor into the decision somewhat. But the downside of getting a King Crab right now, and I guess this is true of the Stalker as well, is that that's a mech we would probably be using forever. I know that doesn't sound like a downside, but like in terms of entertainment value, I wonder if it's a bad idea to pick up an assault mech at this point in the campaign. Look at the money. Look at all that money we have. And we'd be stupid not to, right? I don't know. I think we might be stupid not to. I'm going to continue thinking about it. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to continue mulling this over. I got to be honest with you, though. The chances are really, really good that we're about to almost go broke. Come back next time to see if that prophecy is self-fulfilling. And we'll see you then.